Rain had always been their thing. When the skies broke open, when the world drowned in gray, when the streets turned slick with silver, Isabella Hayes and Ethan Blackwell would run barefoot through the puddles like wild children, laughing until their throats ached. For years it was their ritual, their secret, their bond. Best friends. Always. Until the night had ended. The storm raged harder than usual, pounding against the old windows of the Hayes estate. Isabella stood in the drawing room, her heart hammering as Ethan's voice cut through the air like a whip. "Don't lie to me." Her stomach clenched. "I'm not lying, Ethan. I swear to you I didn't. You expect me to believe that after what I saw?" His fists curled at his sides, knuckles white. His dark hair clung to his forehead, wet from the rain outside, his eyes blazing with hurt and fury. "I saw you with him, Isabella, with my own eyes." Tears blurred her vision. "It wasn't what you think." "Then what was it?" he spat. "What was he doing with his hands on you?" Her lips trembled. She wanted to explain, wanted to scream the truth, but her voice broke before it could form. "Ethan, please, just listen." "I did listen," he cut in sharply. "I listened to him. I listened to everyone who warned me about you, and I—" His voice cracked, raw with betrayal. "I believed them, because how else do I explain what I saw?" Her chest caved in as if he had struck her. She shook her head violently, hot tears spilling down her cheeks. "You promised me, Ethan, you promised me you'd always trust me." His jaw tightened. For a fleeting second, she saw the boy who used to sneak into her room through the window, who used to carry her books when hers got too heavy, who used to swear that nothing in the world could ever come between them. Then it was gone. "Not anymore," he said coldly. The words hit harder than thunder. Isabella's body went rigid. Her throat burned, but she swallowed the sob, threatening to break free. "If you can look at me and believe them over me, then maybe I don't know you at all. Maybe you never did," Ethan muttered, turning his face away. The silence that followed was suffocating. The storm outside howled, rattling the windows, but inside the room everything was dead, cold, broken, final. Isabella straightened, her tears drying into something harder, sharper. She had begged, she had pleaded, she had tried to hold on. But if Ethan would not hear her, if he would not even try, then there was nothing left. "Fine," she whispered, her voice trembling but fierce. "If I'm your enemy now, then so be it. But don't you dare expect me to stay where I'm not believed." She turned and walked out before he could answer, each step heavier than the last, her heart breaking with every breath. Behind her, Ethan stood frozen, jaw tight, chest heaving. His pride screamed he was right, that what he saw could not be explained away. But beneath it, buried deep, something twisted inside him, a flicker of doubt, of fear, of loss. Still, he let her go. And Isabella? She never looked back. The years rolled on like stones in a river, worn down but never washed clean. Isabella had left the town the next morning, carrying nothing but a suitcase and a heart fractured beyond repair. She built her life brick by brick in another city, far from the whispers of betrayal. Architecture became her refuge. She spent her days designing homes that stood firm against storms, though she herself had never felt steady again. Every time she saw the rain, she remembered running through puddles barefoot with Ethan. Every time lightning cracked the sky, she remembered his voice, raw with anger. She buried it. She buried him. Ethan, too, carved his future with ruthless determination. He took over the Blackwell family's real estate empire, turning it into one of the most powerful firms in the country. Outwardly, he was sharp, untouchable, the man everyone respected and feared. But the nights told another story. Nights when storms broke the sky and he found himself staring at empty glasses, hearing the echo of her voice. "You promised me." He told himself he hated her, that she had betrayed him, that he had been right to cast her aside. But no matter how many walls he built, one truth gnawed at him. He missed her, and yet their paths never crossed, until fate twisted It was a charity gala, glittering with chandeliers and silk gowns. Isabella was there to present her firm's architectural design for a children's hospital. She wore a simple black dress, elegant but modest, her hair pinned neatly back. She spoke with warmth and conviction, her voice steady even as nerves buzzed beneath her skin. When the applause echoed, she stepped down from the stage, straight into him. Ethan. The years had carved him sharper, his suit tailored to perfection, his gaze colder, his presence heavier. The crowd parted for him as if instinctively knowing power when they saw it. And yet when his eyes landed on her, all the years fell away. Isabella, he said, her name tasting like both venom and longing on his tongue. She froze, breath catching. She had imagined this moment countless times, what she would say, how she would stand tall. But nothing prepared her for the reality. Ethan. Her voice was steady, though her pulse roared. "You're here," he muttered, almost to himself. Then, more sharply, "Of course. I should have known fate wasn't finished punishing me." Her chest tightened, but she lifted her chin. "No, Ethan. Fate isn't punishing you. It's reminding you of the mess you made." The silence between them burned. Sparks, but not the kind of warmth they once shared. Sparks of a fire that could consume them both. They crossed paths again 2 days later in a boardroom. Isabella's firm had unknowingly partnered with a subsidiary of Blackwell Enterprises. The project contract forced them into collaboration. Neither backed down. "You think you can just walk in here and play savior?" Ethan's voice dripped with disdain as he leaned across the polished table. "I'm not here to save anyone," Isabella shot back, eyes flashing. "I'm here to work. Something you should try instead of throwing your power around like a weapon." His jaw tightened. Still the same sharp tongue. Still the same arrogance. The others in the room shifted uncomfortably, pretending to study their notes. But everyone could feel it. The tension between them wasn't just professional. It was personal, tangled, unfinished. By the end of the meeting, Ethan slammed his papers shut. "This won't work." Isabella smiled coldly. "Unfortunately, you don't have a choice." Late one evening, alone in the office, their argument reached a breaking point. "You ruined everything we had," Isabella snapped, her voice shaking with restrained rage. "You betrayed me." Ethan barked back, his eyes blazing. "I didn't," she cried, tears stinging. "But you never let me explain, did you? You heard their lies and you believed them. You never gave me a chance." He froze, her words slicing through his anger. For the first time, doubt cracked his armor. But pride was a stubborn thing. "I saw enough," he muttered. Her laugh was hollow. "No, Ethan, you saw what you wanted to see." She grabbed her bag and stormed out, leaving him standing in the silence, chest heaving, her words echoing in his mind. Fate wasn't done. A business trip trapped them in the same hotel when a violent storm grounded all flights. The power flickered, the roads flooded, and suddenly they were stuck, two enemies with nowhere to run. They argued at first, voices clashing as fiercely as the thunder outside. But exhaustion stripped them raw. In the flickering candlelight of the powerless lobby, their words softened. "Do you ever miss it?" she whispered. He looked at her, eyes shadowed. "Miss what?" "Us. Before everything." His throat worked. For a moment, he almost said the truth. Instead, he muttered, "Does it matter?" "It matters to me," she whispered. The storm outside raged, but for the first time, their silence wasn't sharp. It was aching. The truth broke weeks later. A former colleague, drunk and bitter, let slip the confession at a party. He had spread the lies years ago out of jealousy, wanting to drive them apart. Ethan heard it, heard how it had all been a manipulation, heard how Isabella had been innocent all along. He staggered outside, breathless, guilt clawing at his chest. The next day he found her. "I was wrong," he said hoarsely, standing in her office doorway. "I should have listened. I should have trusted you." Her eyes welled, but her voice was sharp. "And now you realize, after all these years?" "I destroyed us," he whispered. And I don't know if I can fix it, but I had to tell you the truth. Her tears fell silent and steady. You didn't just destroy us, Ethan. You destroyed me. Yet despite everything, their lives were still tangled. Meetings, projects, and fate kept pulling them together. And slowly, painfully, something shifted. A laugh slipped out when he teased her. A hand brushed hers when they reached for the same folder. A memory resurfaced of rain-soaked laughter long ago. Neither wanted to admit it. Neither dared. But beneath all the wounds, all the rage, there was something deeper, something they had never named. Ethan fought for her now, not with power, but with persistence. I know I don't deserve your forgiveness, he told her one evening, voice breaking. But I'll spend every day proving I'm not the man who failed you. She searched his face, seeing the boy she had lost and the man he had become. Her chest ached with something she had tried to bury for years. Stop trying to fix the past, Ethan, she whispered. Just be here now. And for the first time in years, he was, truly, fully there. The rain returned on the night. Everything changed. They stood on the balcony of the nearly completed hospital project, the city lights glowing through the storm. Funny, Isabella murmured. How it always comes back to the rain. Ethan stepped closer, his voice low. It was always our thing, wasn't it? She turned, heart pounding. Maybe it still is. For a moment, neither spoke. The storm surrounded them, wild and unrelenting. But between them, something finally stilled. I loved you back then, he admitted, voice raw. I just never realized it. Her tears glistened in the lightning. And I loved you too. But I was too afraid to name it. He reached for her hand, pulling her into him. Then let's not waste what's left. Their lips met, and the storm roared around them. But for the first time it felt like home. The city woke damp and glittering. Isabella woke with a calm she didn't recognize. Not because everything was simple, because it finally wasn't a lie. She poured coffee. Her phone buzzed. Ethan, text. Are you awake? I didn't sleep. I'm outside. Coffee? She opened her door. He stood there, rumpled suit, rain hair, eyes searching. Good morning, he said softly. Good, she answered. Let's try again. They sat by the window, 2 cups steaming like tiny storms. Last night, he began. It wasn't a mistake, she said. He nodded. No, but I need to earn it. Not rush it. Not force it. Then don't, she said. Show up. Listen, stay, he breathed out. I can do that. They smiled. Something new. Something careful. Her phone chimed again. An alert. She frowned. Then she went still. What is it? Ethan asked. She turned the screen. A headline burned in black, architect at center of controversy. Inside sources claim design shortcuts at Children's Hospital. Ethan's jaw clenched. That's a hit piece, Isabella whispered. I didn't approve those shortcuts. What happened next will shock you, the article promised in bold. Ethan looked up. They're coming for you. She squared her shoulders. Then we don't hide. We go to the site, today. Together, he said. Together, she echoed. Blackwell Tower. Conference room like a glass blade. The board gathered, sharp ties, colder eyes. The CFO, Gerald Kane, folded his hands. This story damages our valuation. We must distance the company from Ms. Hayes. She's our partner, Ethan said, and she's clean. A director arched a brow. Clean? The press says otherwise. Ethan leaned forward. The press also said I was a teenage dropout who married a supermodel in Vegas. Did I? Silence. Enough, Ethan said. We investigate the claim. We support the project. The hospital opens on schedule. Gerald's voice was silk. Unless you prefer a vote to adjust leadership. Is that a threat? Ethan asked. An option, Gerald said. Ethan stood. Calm, dangerous. Here's another option. Anyone who undermines this hospital undermines Sick children. You want to be that headline? Nobody moved. Ethan walked out. His hands were steady. His heart was not. In the elevator, he dialed. Isa, I'm on my way to the site. Good, she said, because the inspector just arrived with a question you're not going to like. The site. Cranes like steel ribs against a gray sky. Inspector Rivera tapped a clipboard. Your latest delivery of steel sub-beams, wrong grade, cheaper, weaker. Isabella. Shook her head. That order wasn't mine. Ethan frowned. Who has override authority? Rivera checked. Purchasing signed by Marcus Vale. Isabella felt the floor tilt. Marcus worked under me years ago. He's the one who confessed to spreading the lies that broke Ethan and me. Rivera's eyes narrowed. He's back, and he's signing your name. Ethan's voice dropped. Forgery? Rivera nodded. Looks like it. Then we stop work, Isabella said. We test every beam. We rip out what fails. That'll delay, Rivera warned. Then we delay, she said. I'm not building a risk, I'm building a refuge. Ethan stared at her, steady, fierce. He looked proud. We'll absorb the cost. Rivera slid them a notice. You have 48 hours to present a remediation plan, or I shut you down. What happened next will shock you, Isabella murmured. Try me, Ethan said. She touched his sleeve. Come see the beams with me, I want you to see what we're fighting. Lead, he said. I'll follow. Warehouse, metal, dust, the smell of rain and rust. A man stepped from shadow. Smirk cut sideways. Hello, Isabella. Marcus. Vale said. Miss me? Ethan moved fast, a human wall between them. You have 5 seconds to get out. Marcus laughed. Still the guard dog. Isabella's voice was even. You forged my signature. Allegedly, Marcus purred. Prove it. We will, Ethan said. And when we do, when you do, Marcus cut in, the city will discover your company used weak beams on a children's hospital. Do you think they'll care which signature is real? Isabella stared at him. You don't care if a building fails. Marcus shrugged. I care about leverage, a whisper, a rumor, a well-placed fear. You taught me that the first time. Ethan's eyes went winter cold. Get out. Marcus leaned close enough to make the air sour. You wanted a twist? Here it is. Gerald Kane is the one paying me. Silence detonated. Ethan didn't blink. Prove it. Marcus grinned. No, but I can offer you a deal. I make this story disappear. The beams, a shipment error. The signatures, a clerical glitch. In exchange, Isabella resigns, quietly, publicly, today. Isabella's hand shook, just once. You made me his enemy once. You won't do it again. Marcus's smile thinned. We'll see. He left. The warehouse felt colder. Ethan turned. Isa, she lifted a palm. No, listen, we don't trade truth for quiet. We rip out every bad beam and we show the city the test results. That will cost millions, he said. Then it costs millions, she answered. We're building trust as much as walls. Nodded. I'm with you. And Ethan? Yes? She stepped closer. If the board comes for you, I don't care, I don't leave. He closed his eyes, something breaking and healing at once. You just said the one thing I never thought I'd hear again. What? That you choose me when it's hard, she swallowed. Then don't make me regret it. Never again. It was a sprint that tasted like war. Day 1. Test rigs humming. Engineers reading stress curves. Isabella. Sketching remediation like music. Ethan calling suppliers, burning bridges if he had to. Night came. The rain started. Of course it did. Isabella spread a set of plans across a folding table. See this? She said to the team. We stagger. The beam replacement so the load path is never unsupported. It's like changing a tire while the car crawls. Can it hold? An engineer asked. It has to, she said. Ethan arrived with coffee. New delivery, correct grade, triple tested. Thank you, she whispered. He tilted his head. You thought I'd say no? I thought the board would. He smiled, without humor. I didn't ask. She grinned, small and bright. That's my favorite version of you. Rivera returned at dawn. Show me. They did. Every reading, every weld, every soil report. Numbers don't lie. Men do. Steel doesn't lie. Paper does. Rivera lowered the clipboard. You're good to continue. Conditional. I'll be watching. Watch, Isabella said. We have nothing to hide. Rivera glanced at Ethan. You back her like this, you'll make enemies. Ethan's answer was simple. Then they'll stand in line. They didn't stand. They lunged. Gerald Kane called an emergency session. Ethan's decisions lack fiduciary restraint, he said smoothly. He's emotionally compromised. Ethan leaned into the mic. I'm financially committed. We protect the hospital, now or we pay with reputation later. Gerald slid a folder across. Conflict of interest disclosures. Your personal involvement with Ms. Hayes. The room shifted. Ethan didn't flinch. Put it on the record. I won't hide it. A director coughed, then stepped back from direct oversight. I won't step back from integrity, Ethan said. Gerald smiled. Then we vote. Hands rose. It wasn't a majority. Gerald blinked. The chairwoman, white-haired and sharper than all of them, tapped her pen. I've watched 3 generations of Blackwells. This one is the first to choose the right thing when it's costly. He keeps his seat. We revisit after opening. The room exhaled. Ethan's phone buzzed. One line from Isabella. What happened next will shock you. He stood, left the room, and called. Tell me. Her voice was thin. It's my mother. She collapsed. Hospital. Harsh lights. Vending machine coffee. Ethan arrived running. Found Isabella in a plastic chair, hands locked, eyes rimmed with fear. What happened? He asked. Chest pain, she whispered. They're running tests. He sat beside her. No speeches, no power, just presence. A doctor approached. We're admitting her. She'll need observation and likely a procedure. The good news is you brought her in fast. Isabella nodded. Thank you. The doctor added, I've seen you on the news. The hospital you're building. It'll save lives. Isabella's throat tightened. That's the plan. Doctor smiled. Hurry. After he left, Ethan faced her. I'll move mountains. You can't, not this, she said. But you can stay. I will. She stared at the rain on the window. I want the hospital to open. For people like her. For us. I'm terrified we won't make it now. We will, he said. How do you know? Because this time I'm listening, he said. I won't let fear talk louder than you. She smiled, small and tired. That's new. It's us, he said. New. Her phone vibrated again. A message from an unknown number. You should have taken the deal next time the building falls. Isabella swallowed. Marcus. Ethan's jaw turned to iron. Then we stop him. For your mother. For every mother. She nodded. For every child. They met in a quiet, wired conference room with Rivera and a cyber investigator named Nyla. Sharp eyes, braided, hair, calm like a storm before it hits. We bait him, Nyla said. Offer a meeting. Move money he thinks is hush money. Track the roots. Record the ask. Ethan frowned. Won't he suspect? Nyla shrugged. He's arrogant. Arrogant. Men step on their own rakes. Isabella's voice was steady. I'll do it. Ethan shook his head. No. Yes, she said. He wants me. He believes he can scare me. He needs to see I'm not the girl he broke. Ethan stared. I can't lose you. Not like I'm not leaving, she said. I'm choosing to stand. He nodded, defeated, and proud at once. Then I'm standing next to you, She smiled. Good. They chose a rooftop bar, late, with rain threatening. Of course. Marcus arrived in a perfect coat. So, buyer's remorse? Isabella kept her voice crisp. I'm here to settle. You'd like that, wouldn't you? Marcus's smile was razor thin. Then resign. Say the design was too much. For you. Take a sabbatical. I'll make your problem disappear. I want your price, she said. He named a number large enough to buy a clean conscience in most countries. She didn't blink. Done. And Gerald? Marcus's pupils flared. Untouchable. Record, Nyla whispered in Ethan's earpiece. He watched from a shadowed table, fists clenched. Isabella set a phone on the table. Wire instructions? Marcus slid a card. You're making the smart choice. She stood. No, I'm making evidence. He looked up, confused. Rivera stepped. Out of the dark. Officers followed. Nyla lifted a hand. Smile. Marcus tried to run. He didn't make it 3 steps. What happened next will shock you, Nyla said mildly, holding up the recorder. You just confessed to extortion tied to public works fraud. Marcus snarled. Gerald will bury you. Rivera's eyes gleamed. Gerald just became my next call. Ethan exhaled. He went to Isabella. You were flawless. I was scared, she admitted. Courage isn't the lack of fear, he said. It's choosing anyway. Her lips trembled. Hold my hand? Always. Marcus sang, not to music, to prosecutors. Gerald Kane tried to vanish cash. Nyla traced it like a heartbeat. Rivera moved fast. Warrants, subpoenas, audits. The board called another session. Gerald wore a calm like too much cologne. You've been busy, Ethan said. Gerald smiled. So have you. Nyla clicked a remote. Screens flickered. Emails, transfers, signature overlays, messages to Marcus. Gerald's smile rotted. This is inadmissible. It's a shareholder briefing, Gerald, the chairwoman said, voice like a winter bell. We're not a court. Gerald lunged for the torker. Security didn't let him reach it. The chairwoman turned to Ethan. Clean house, and open your hospital. He exhaled. Yes, ma'am. When he stepped into the hall, Isabella waited with 2 coffees. What happened next will be hard, he finished. But we'll do it. She handed him a cup. Drink. Drank. Marry me. She blinked. The hall hushed in his mind. Not a stunt, he said quickly. Not a headline, not a bargain, just us, rain, windows, coffee. Will you? Her eyes filled. Ethan, too soon? He asked, breathless. She smiled through tears. It's perfect, but I want one thing first. Anything. Open the hospital. Do the thing we promised the world. Then ask me again. In the rain. He laughed, undone. Deal. He kissed her forehead. Deal, he repeated into her skin. Final inspection week. Pressure like gravity. Rivera roamed the halls with a tablet. Almost there. Isabella pointed at a window seat. Here. Rounded edges, low sill, bookshelves. Rivera nodded, surprised. Small things. Big comfort. Ethan walked with donors. Naming plaques won't be ostentatious, he said. Humility is a design choice. He met Isabella in a quiet corridor. We're close. We are, she said. Rivera jogged toward them. We have a problem. Sub-basement pump, flood, and the backup generator room is getting water. They ran. Water spread like a dark mirror. Shut the main, Isabella said. Valve won't turn, a foreman shouted. It's stuck. Ethan rolled his sleeves. Then we make it turn. He dropped to his knees. Wrench, strain, a stone of metal grudged slow. Again, Isabella said. He heaved. The valve spun. The flow stuttered, slowed, stopped. What happened next will shock you, the foreman panted. The backup generator, it's lit, and it shouldn't be. Nyla's voice crackled through a radio. She'd been monitoring systems. Someone triggered a dummy startup remotely. Not a failure, a sabotage. Marcus? Isabella asked. Too late for him, Nyla said. But he had friends, I'm on it. Rivera glanced around. We'll dry it, we'll test it, we'll certify it. You just survived your first fire underwater. Ethan sat back against a wall, soaked, laughing at the absurdity. Isabella slumped beside him. He took her hand. Still want me after this? He teased, she squeezed. After this? I only want you after this. Rain began pattering on the stairwell window. Of course it did. He looked at the glass. Soon, he whispered. She smiled. Soon. Opening day. Balloons. White coats. Tiny. Hands in big mittens. Isabella walked the halls like a prayer come true. Her mother moved slowly beside her, a soft sweater over a hospital gown. It's beautiful, she whispered. You did this. We did, Isabella said, looking at Ethan across the lobby. He stood at a microphone. This building is made of steel and glass, yes, but it stands on something stronger. Trust. We broke. We made mistakes. We learned. We built it the right way. Applause. Clean and bright. Rivera cut the ribbon with the chairwoman. Cameras flashed. A child giggled. The first patient rolled through flowers and light. Isabella found Ethan in the rain outside. No ceremony now, just them. He reached into his pocket and laughed. We're both soaked. Perfect, she said. He dropped to one knee on wet concrete. Isabella Hayes, I made you my enemy by not hearing your side. I will spend the rest of my life hearing you. Will you marry me? She didn't cry. Not exactly. Her eyes were rain. Yes, she said. Today. Tomorrow. In the hardest rooms. In the quiet ones. He slid the ring onto her finger. It wasn't a diamond that could blind. It was a stone that could last. What happened next will shock you, she whispered, leaning in. What? I booked a small room upstairs, she said. Flowers. 2 chairs. Witnesses. The chairwoman volunteered, and Rivera said she'd bring a pen. Ethan laughed like the sky just cleared. You planned this? I believed you'd ask. Why? Because you finally listened, she said. And because I finally did too. It smelled like lilies and rain. They stood before the window that faced the city. The chairwoman held a little book. Rivera dabbed at her eyes and pretended it was the rain. Repeat after me, the chairwoman said. Today we begin again. Today we begin again, they said together. I will not let fear speak louder than trust. I will not let fear speak louder than trust. I will hear your side. I will hear your side, especially when the noise is loud. Especially when the noise is loud. I will build with you. I will build with you. I will choose you on purpose every day. I will choose you on purpose. Every day. Ethan looked at Isabella and lost his breath. I am sorry, he said softly, not in the script, for everything I didn't listen to, for the years you faced alone, for the pride I mistook for strength, for the boy who let you walk away. She reached up, smiled, touched his face. I forgive him. I loved him even then. I love the man more. They kissed. No thunder. Just the hum of a hospital beginning to breathe. They didn't get a honeymoon, not the usual kind. There were still audits, hearings, angry investors, late-night reviews, stories to correct. But there was also coffee in the morning and rain on the glass, and someone to hold when the headlines got mean. What happened next will shock you, Nyla announced in a debrief. Gerald pleaded to lesser charges and is naming others. The cleanout is bigger than we thought. Rivera added, and the city just issued a new guideline based on your remediation plan. Your names are on it. Ethan glanced at Isabella. We did something. We did, she said. He squeezed her knee under the table. She squeezed back. That night they walked the hospital quietly, They paused in the reading room. Window seats, low shelves, gentle lamps. "This was your favorite?" he said. "It still is," she whispered. "It's where fear gets smaller. And where voices are heard," he said. She leaned her head on his shoulder. "Say more." "I hear you," he said simply. Her eyes shone. "Good answer." Weeks later, Isabella's mother sat in the sunlit atrium, knitting. Recovery was slow but steady. A little boy toddled past in socks, dragging an IV pole like a brave little knight. He stopped, looked up at Ethan, and announced, "I'm not scared." Ethan crouched. "I believe you." The boy pointed at the ceiling. "It rains inside." Ethan smiled. "Sometimes." Isabella knelt too. "Do you know a secret?" The boy shook his head. She whispered, "When it rains, some people hide, but some people listen." "What do they hear?" the boy asked. "Each other," she said. He nodded gravely. "That's good." He marched on, socks squeaking. The nurses laughed, tired and happy. Ethan stood. "I want 1,000 days like this." "Me too," she said. He kissed her knuckles, the ring cool and certain. "We'll have them. Even when it's hard," she said. "Especially then," he answered. They bought umbrellas and forgot them everywhere. They learned to cook and burned the first 3 soups. They fought sometimes, but they didn't walk away. When the city stormed, they opened windows. When fear shouted, they spoke softly. When pride rose, they sat down and listened. On their first anniversary, they returned to the balcony where it began again. The city glowed. The rain stitched silver lines across the dark. Ethan said, "You once told me to be here now." Isabella smiled. "So, be here." He looked at her ring, at her hands, at the hospital lights. "I'm here," he said. She leaned into him. "Me too." Below them, sirens sang somewhere far away. Above them, thunder rolled, a low, familiar drum. Between them, a promise stood, simple, earned, unbreakable. "What happened next will shock you," Isabella teased. "What?" he asked, laughing. "We get to be boring sometimes," she said. "Tea, books, rain." He grinned. "Scandalous." They kissed, and this time it wasn't the end of a war or the beginning of a plot. It was simply a life, one they built, one they chose, one they would keep choosing, even when clouds gathered. Because they had learned the truest thing. Rain doesn't ruin the day. It writes it. 2 best friends, torn apart by lies, broken into enemies, lost in silence, reunited by fate, only to discover that their twisted roads had always led to love. Did this story leave your heart racing? Share your favorite moment in the comments follow for more dramatic emotional tales of betrayal, fate, and love. Stay tuned for the next story that will twist your heart and make you believe in second chances again, because sometimes the roads we fear the most are the ones that lead us exactly where we belong.